What's up, everybody? John from Old Reading Farm here. We're gonna try something new today. Today is Woodyard Wednesday, and so that's gonna mean we're gonna talk about tractor stuff, we're gonna talk about sawmill stuff, we're gonna mill some wood, we're gonna carve some wood, we're gonna do all things woody. Ha! So, we are down here in the Woodyard today, and I got this big ass pine log here. So this has got to be 4, 8, 12, 14 feet, something like that. It's actually pretty straight. It's got a couple big knots in it, but so I'm gonna mill this down so that I can carve some trees and some flat-back gnomes. We have a couple big shows coming up, so it's Monday when I'm filming this video, and so I think it'll be good to get this all set so I can have stuff to carve. So I'm looking at this. Looks like the long edge is right here, and you can see there's a couple knots up this way. So I'm going to try to cut it so that this is facing straight up. So my first slab will be like right along this side here. So I'm just going to turn it, see if I can lock it in place. And let's go. First ever edition of Woodyard Wednesday with John from Old Reading Farm. Glad you guys are here. Let's get started. All right, so this log is freaking heavy, and I don't know what's up with this. A lot of the pines that I've gotten from my tree guy recently have been super heavy. Even though I have the stump grinder on the back of my tractor, just lifting this one up, just coming around a corner in a low end, picked up one of the back wheels a little. So I don't know if it's like extra moisture that they're storing in winter, or maybe somebody out there knows, but I got a big eastern white pine right here. So maybe in the winter, they just store as much moisture as they can to get through the winter, I'm not sure. But so anyway, so mainly what I look for here is I want enough clearance on the rails so that when I cut a slab off the top, I don't really have to worry about, having to trim anything off the sides. This is just, I think, just about big enough to be almost too big to fit on my mill. But actually, I got some exciting news today. My HM 136 Max sawmill is being shipped. So that's another thing. Maybe after I get this milled, we'll talk about what's going to happen with that. But anyway, let's get milling. Look at that. It's pretty good. Got a nice thick top cut here. So I'll use this to make a few trees, maybe a gnome down there. I found that people like when I do the gnomes and have a beard carved, like on the side of a knot to really feature the knot. People like the wood features. But anyway, so I think, let's see, I got one more round edge, which is the bottom here. So I'm gonna flip this 180 degrees, get another big top cut, and then cut it at like 3.5-inch increments to get some tree blanks out of it. All right, so I have 2 top cuts and I have 1 big board here, something like 12 inches wide. You think, I guess I can get a, yeah, somewhere around 12, 13 inches wide. And I have 2 more still on the mill. just with configuration I had here, I didn't want to put more on there. But anyway, so I'm going to cut these up at just under 24 inches. So they're going to be 22 inches tall. And the reason for that is the shelving that I have is currently fixed at 24 inches between each space. So I want to make sure that those can fit on the space. And actually, maybe I will run up and verify that, because I think the last couple of trees that I did were not, or were like just out of range. But anyway, I want to make sure that they're big enough. So what I'll do is I'll run my tape along here, make some marks, and then I'll cut, you know, both pieces. I'll cut the top one first, but cut all the way through to make a notch on the piece below it, so that once that's done and out of the way, I can just chop, 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 chop. Do it as quickly as possible. So anyway, I'll be right back. All right, so per usual John, I forgot to film like the rest of the stuff. But so this is a pile of stuff that I have left from what I milled. And then this is what I carved over the last 2 days. So on the bottom there, I have some trees that have some blank spaces. And so I'll go through and laser engrave those either before or after Catherine paints them. And then the stuff on top is what I carved yesterday. So I just want to bring all that up so that Catherine can paint them and get them going. And so I got shipping confirmation from Woodland Mills that my new HM 136 Max is on its way, which is very exciting. Now, nothing's going to happen with that until next year, because I have to focus on chainsaw carving and what I'm doing here. So that's obviously the priority. Doesn't mean a guy can't dream, right? So anyway, so, you know, we're talking about it and we're looking at it, and it's all good. And so I think, so here's where my current mill is, obviously. I think I'm going to put my new mill in a different place. Now, I'm not 100% sure about that. You know, I'll need to think about it. But so I was thinking about somewhere over there, because the thing is, I'm going to continue to use this, so I can't put it here. I mean, maybe I could put it just a little bit further back that way. And I mean, you know, it has been nice. And one of the things that I was talking about being able to do, because I'm going to be milling much bigger logs with this one, being able to sort of roll them down. Because, you know, so I have a Kubota L4701. I can only lift, I think, 1,600 total pounds. The forks weigh a couple hundred pounds. So, you know, it's I can't lift up the biggest logs, you know what I mean? Excuse me. So I'm going to need to roll them sometimes. But this is a bit much of an incline. I wouldn't want to roll, you know, a 2,500 pound log like barreling down here towards my, you know, very expensive sawmill. So that's why I'm thinking sort of over there and just sort of leave this spot open. I mean, this could even be, you know, sort of where I put my logs, and then when I'm ready to mill, I can just bring it down over there. But so that's coming. It's probably going to be here on like Wednesday, which is wild. And I actually need to be there for it. And we have a couple shows coming up with early setup. So it's going to be a busy week. But you'll see I have lots of logs. So those got to get milled and carved. And man, I got to carve some bears. So, but I wanted to get these trees all set. Gives Catherine some stuff to paint for tomorrow. And then I'm thinking that maybe the next day I'll finish some of these, because obviously the milling takes some time. So maybe I can blast through a bunch of these and get them up to Catherine, and we can have them ready for this weekend. We'll have to see. But I think that's going to do it for this video for now. Take one last look at our chainsaw carvings. I mean, I think these come out pretty good. And this is actually a new one. So it's hard to see what it is right now, but this is going to be a wood spirit, which is sort of based on my style of gnome, which has a little nose and then a beard or a mustache. So this is just right into the piece of wood. So he's got his nose here and beard down here. It was the first thing I sold at my show on Saturday, because you know, this is just a little piece of wood. It was super easy to carve, and then Cat's just going to slam some white paint on his beard and call it a day. So That'll be good. All right. So now that's officially going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.